And then the other day I saw a tweet from you where you were kind of echoing something that I think that I've been feeling, and I think other people have been feeling as well. And essentially, I don't know if this is fair, you were lamenting the fact that you didn't feel like there were Christians, and I'm from the Christian evangelical side of things, so I definitely say it's true of us, that you didn't feel like there were Christians who were very vocal on the issue of transitioning children. And I absolutely concurred with that. And I felt like for far too long, Christians, and maybe we'll get into this a little bit later more in depth, but just generally speaking, I felt like Christians felt like because they couldn't effectively talk about the issue very well, and they were so scared of the scarlet letter of being judgmental, the scarlet J, which is probably one of the biggest idols for Christians in the culture today, because they know that there's a social repercussion for talking about things, especially like this issue, that they just absolutely avoided it. But I figured out a long time ago that ignorance is not compassion. So I think it's really, really important to talk about these things. So I guess I'd like, maybe you can respond to that, but I guess I'd like to just really start with your story, because you're passionate about talking about these things because of your own personal experience. So what is it that motivates you to do Trey Voices, and that motivates you to speak out about the issue of transitioning children?
Well, the thing that motivates me to talk about this, about children medically transitioning, is because number one, I've been through the process. Number two, it almost killed me. I spent 17 months researching transgender health to try to live. I mean, seriously, I had letters to my kids till they were 40, all three of them, and telling them at different times in their birthdays what I thought I would want to tell them at that age. So I had come to the conclusion that nobody could figure out what was wrong with me. I went from ER to ER with doctors going, I don't know, transgender health is experimental. And I went, well, nothing new for me. I wish somebody would have said that in the beginning. So for me, I'm in the perfect place to have researched this for 17 months and came to the conclusion that I was dying. And I lost everything. I lost my home. I lost my wife. I lost my career. I lost my money. I mean, I'm in the basement and of a best friend, trying to make my way back up. And when the doctors finally figured out what was wrong with me, it was the worst day of my life, because I thought, I'm going to live. Well, what am I going to do now? And so for me, I flipped on Twitter, and I flipped on what they were doing to kids. I flipped on what people know and do not know about medical transition. And I was floored. I was absolutely floored with what was happening. So I have a really good friend. She's a writer in Canada. Her name is Barbara Kay. She's kind of an older feminist lady that I just love. She's just somebody that just slaps me in the face 27 times. And then I go, okay, I really need that. I didn't like it when it was happening. But I said to her in the beginning, I said, why are we medically transitioning children? Why, with all the statistics? And she said, because people like you are not talking. And I went, God. And I did that for about a month. And then I just said, okay, I'm going to start talking about it. And I have.
You can catch brand new episodes of Indie Thinker with Reed Uberman every Monday, and weekly bonus episodes to keep you thinking throughout the week. But you have to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when new episodes drop. If you enjoy this content, make sure to like this video and share it with friends.